feeling about this.
Welcome back, yada yada listeners. This is episode 32. I'm your host, Brooks Pennington, and if you're anything like me, probably a little sick of the constant bombardment of awful news in the old U.S. of A. But guess what? Today I have some great news. In fact, today is a celebration. Not only will we be celebrating my favorite saga in the history of storytelling, saga, as George Lucas would say, or the return of the first yada yada guest star and very good friend of mine, Mr. T-Payne. But, most importantly, we are celebrating the birth of my co-host, Ty's firstborn daughter. So, congratulations to Ty. He's bailing on today's episode, but as far as excuses go, spending time with your wife and newborn baby is not too shabby. So, throw some congrats in the comments for Ty and his family. He'll be back soon enough, and today we're talking about Star Wars anyways, so he even if he was available, he probably wouldn't join. So, but yeah, like I said, my old buddy T-Payne is hanging out with us and talking some Star Wars with us today. How you doing, man?
Hello, Mr. Pennington. I'm doing well. How about yourself? I'm honored to be Ty's sub. I mean, I know I might have ruffled some feathers the last time I was here with my only, I think, curse word to show up in the Yada Yada series, which I sincerely apologize for, but I'm happy to be back talking about one of our favorite things.
That basically puts you in the Yada Yada Hall of Fame, you know, with the only explicit episode in Yada Yada history. It's impressive.
We like to blaze trails in the Payne family.
Right. All right. Let's see if we can make it 2 in a row. But yeah. So as many of you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, it is my favorite movie franchise of all time, and it means a lot to me. And we're gonna discuss our favorite scene in every theatrically released Star Wars movie, other than the Clone Wars movie. We're gonna not talk about that one. Love the show, great show, not the movie.
It might not be the worst movie on this list, though.
I'll say that it might not be the most offensive movie on this list.
There we go. Okay.
Yes, I agree with that. But yeah, we're gonna go through it in chronological order as the maker intended. So we'll start with good old episode 1, The Phantom Menace. But before we dive in, do you have Trevor, give us your general relationship to Star Wars. How long have you been a fan? What does it mean to you? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, as Optimus says in the monologue of the first Transformers movie with our Lord and Savior Shia LaBeouf, once time began, that's all I've known was Star Wars and basketball. So it's been a nice blend of being born in this era, as far as, growing up watching the original trilogy and then kind of having the prequels come out when we were growing up. I mean, some of my first memories are going to see Attack of the Clones in the theaters. I liked it a lot more then, but it still has a lot of rewatchability for me. And, even growing up, I know I felt kind of like at that age where you're too old, to watch cartoons when you're going through junior high and all that, and you got to act cool to fit in.
Right.
That show was so good, and there's never been a time in my life where I haven't had Star Wars, to correlate with my history or stuff that happens with family, and I don't know. It's just always been something that's intriguing and enjoyable to me. It gets me through stuff. I enjoy it, so it's a comfort food, I guess.
Yeah, man. It's modern mythology, it's used, and I think George intended it that way. He intended it for young kids to be able to look to their heroes and their and the villains to kind of kind of aspire to, or to to have a cautionary tale. And so it's certainly how I've applied
It's like
Star Wars to my life.
It
It rhymes.
Yeah, I mean, it's helped us grow in our relationship. I mean, as far as like, two of our biggest personalities in high school were basketball and pop culture, and that was a lot from like my love for movies and TV ultimately stems from my love of Star Wars. So it's really shaped who I am. As corny as that sounds, it's really done a lot of that. So
no, for sure, and we're not the only ones. There's a whole sea of people out there that feel the same way we do. That we're also part of that generation that were lucky enough to grow up with the original trilogy and then have the prequels, at the perfect time when we were the most impressionable in our media intake and really, make that mark on us when we were kids. And I don't know if I hadn't have grown up during the release of the prequels, I don't know if I would have been as connected to Star Wars as I am now. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it really got in my blood when all that was happening and it was coming out, and it was a huge deal. But yeah, with that in mind, we are, like I said, we're talking about our favorite moments, the greatest scenes in our opinion from each Star Wars movie that has come out so far. We're getting another movie released this year. That's The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Dave Filoni just recently took over.
That's true. Kathleen Kennedy has finally stepped down as the president of Lucasfilm. So we have Dave Filoni. Any thoughts on old Dave taking over? Because I love Dave as a creative, but I don't know. Maybe it's time we had a creative in the position of president, but it does seem like a bit of a strange move. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you tell me that he's taken over 7 years ago, I think I'd have been a lot more excited, just because at that time he hadn't really trying to take the initiative to direct live action, or we haven't had as many Star Wars shows or stories come out as we have. I mean, he's very much a George Lucas disciple, which I'm appreciative of because he knows how important it is. But at the same time, he is also one that likes to stick to the formulaic, ideology of Lucas to a fault, in my opinion, of, hey, it's going to be hit these same themes. You got 30 minutes an episode, or, this is a lighthearted kid's story, which I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, Star Wars is for kids. Because every generation has grown up on their movies, and that's who they're tailored for. But I also don't think you have to limit yourself to that. I mean, I can't imagine he would have greenlit Andor, and that's some of my favorite Star Wars ever, not even just of the Disney era. I mean, it's incredible storytelling. So that stuff concerns me, but I also think it was time for Star Wars to have a new change, just with all the, hey, we're announcing these 37 projects and one of them gets made, right? And I don't know if that's all Kathleen Kennedy's fault, but it just feels...
If nothing else, it does feel that I mean, with Dave Filoni in charge, at least for a fact that he respects the lore enough and respects George enough to put creatives in charge and actually care about what's coming out, you know what I mean? And actually care enough. Like if he would have been in charge with the sequel trilogy, I don't think there's any way that they don't map out how it connects, first of all, to the previous 6 movies that it's continuing, and you know what I mean? Like there are
just that though, books, but like actually connect to the movies themselves. Like 7, 8, and 9. The connective tissue just is mainly characters, in my opinion. Same with themes, same with the advancement of the stories. But that might be too much to get into.
There's so many things I could rant about, and that I haven't on this podcast that I know we've certainly talked about over the years.
Yes.
But yeah,
I know those rabbit holes we can get down on them as well.
That's true. All right, let's get into the main topic. Let's get into our favorite scenes from every Star Wars movie. We're gonna, like I said, we're going in chronological order. We're gonna start with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and I mean, would you like to say it at the same time? Because Go ahead. You go first,
well,
buddy.
no, I'm kind of thinking. I just want to make sure I say one of my favorite episodes first, so I'm not the person that steals it. But yeah, I'll go first on this one. I mean, I feel like when you said scenes, I was trying to kind of think of things that were, because they can vary, right? You can have a 3-minute scene, you can have a 15-minute scene, but I mean, for this one, for me, at this point of my age and how many times I've watched it, I mainly just skip close to this part, and it's the Duel of the Fates, man.
It's the Duel of the Fates.
It's wonderful because it's some of the best music in movies. Like, the way John Williams created that score, I mean, it's if as much as people complain about the prequels, you can't complain about the music.
No.
Darth Maul is one of the coolest characters, and it's I love the title of it, that scene too, because it's the duel of the fate of the galaxy, just because of Anakin Skywalker. Because what if Qui-Gon does not, spoiler alert, perish?
Right.
That training goes different.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of the greatest duels in all of movies, and certainly in Star Wars.
Choreography's insane.
Yeah, choreography's insane. Especially after Qui-Gon's death, when it just becomes Obi-Wan and Maul, they kick it up a gear, and it's good stuff. That's great. It's a great duel, and like you said, it's the duel of the fate of the galaxy. I mean, Anakin's life is in the balance, and I do think maybe it's up for debate whether or not if Qui-Gon lives, does Anakin ever really turn to the dark side or not? Does Palpatine find another way around him? I don't know, but this is certainly the moment where Anakin's life does change, and he ends up getting trained by his brother instead of his dad, if you want to look at it that way. And so it's great stuff. Well, since we both had the same number one, I'll go ahead and get into my number two. Maybe we won't have the same.
Yes, I'm interested, honestly.
Yeah. So my second favorite scene in The Phantom Menace, outside of Duel of the Fates, is actually going to be when Anakin says goodbye to his mother. Mm-hmm. When he's leaving to go with Qui-Gon, and he has to turn around and go back, and he's telling his mom, "I can't do it." And when you're a kid, or when I was a kid and I was watching it, it's Anakin's story, you know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, wow, this is a moment where Anakin has to be brave and go off with the Jedi, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking about what Anakin's feeling. And now when I rewatch it, I'm thinking all about Shmi and having to give up her kid, even though she knows she's sending him off for a better life. I mean, they were slaves. Right. And she's sending him away, but it's very touching to me watching it now, and just thinking about how strong Shmi had to be to know that not only did she have to say goodbye to her kid, but she also had to continue being a slave without the only thing that she could cling to for hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I didn't even think about that, because and you say that's how you think of it now from Shmi's perspective. I would say I think of it from Anakin's perspective, just because I don't get to see my mother every day, just because I live up here in Oklahoma now. But like when you leave the nest, it's kind of hard and weird at first. At least it was for me, just because I'm so close with my parents, and everything's worked out great. But
those only kids,
Yeah, I'm an only child too, So it's just like, things change when those moments happen.
Yeah, always a touching moment for me. So. You got a number two for The Phantom Menace?
I do. I actually put when Qui-Gon was kind of explaining the importance of Anakin to Obi-Wan. I'm pretty sure it's after they meet with the council. It's been a while since I've seen this one, so I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's kind of Qui-Gon trying to make sure that Obi-Wan is kind of on his page and kind of teaching him, like, hey, you're almost ready yourself, but we also need to be mindful of how important this kid is, just because of the foreshadowing. I mean, and how Qui-Gon's one of my favorite aspects of that movie, so any kind of scene with him is one I like to rely on. And I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan too, one of the bright spots of the prequel trilogy, and
Yeah.
it just showed their dynamic and how Obi-Wan was very respected Qui-Gon so much.
Yeah, I love that too. I love any scene where it's just Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and they're talking about whether it's the philosophy of the Force or where they're, in episode 1 you get a lot of Obi-Wan really not understanding.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to understand, but he really can't come to grips because he's very loyal. He's a loyalist to the Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's a Jedi through and through, and he wants to uphold the code and obey the Council, and that continues all the way through the prequels, and in some ways all the way through the original trilogy as well. But he he is. And Qui-Gon is kind of the OG Jedi in a lot of ways, in the fact that his loyalties are with the Force and really not with the Jedi. His loyalties lie with the Force, and that's a big contrast between him and Obi-Wan, and it's explored really great in the scenes that we get with them. Mm-hmm. So that's a good pick. And then just for funsies, my third one was them traveling to the Gungan city. So, that's great. Those are great visuals. I love it.
Yeah, that one I would have put just for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, not that it was terrible, but it's mostly so for the visuals. So, yeah, it's fun.
For sure. All right, moving into episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This one was kind of tough for me, but there's always one scene. I guess there's kind
of like this one. I mean,
not tough in the sense that I couldn't think of one, and tough in the sense that there were quite a few that I was going back and forth between. But there's always one scene that I always go back to that kind of I think is really, really cool, and that's when Anakin attempts to save his mom, or he does kind of save his mom, but he's too late. So Anakin traveling off to save his mom, from the moment that he leaves Padme with the Larses, I guess, and then Duel of the Fates starts going again. That thread of this is going to be another turning point in Anakin's life. You know what I mean? This is going to be a big moment. And every time that song plays, you better believe it's because Anakin's about to take a left turn, and he certainly does in this scene. It's devastating. Obviously, he gets to his mom. He's too late. She dies in front of him in his arms. And he just flips on the dark side switch and slaughters an entire village of Tusken Raiders. Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
And he hated them.
Almost as much as sand. And but man, this one always gets me. It's really the first steps that we see Anakin take towards Vader.
Yeah.
This is the seed. This is the sprinkling of the breadcrumbs of Vader, or kind of the inception of it is beginning here. And it's really cool because it's a continuation of the thread of his attachment with his mom. You know what I mean? It starts in episode 1, and that's why I love episode 1. A lot of people, some people say, you could watch the original trilogy in episode 3 and get the gist of everything, and maybe you could, but episode 1 is really important, I think, in laying that groundwork in Anakin's attachment to his mom. And that leads right into episode 2, where she dies, and continues, obviously. And it goes, that thread goes all the way through to episode 6, because really Anakin doesn't change a whole lot with his attachment issues. That's the reason he goes to the dark side, and it's the reason he goes back to the light in episode 6. So
he's a family man.
He's a family man. But yeah, so that's what I got. I got Anakin going to the Tusken Raider village to get his mom back, and slaughtering them all.
That was
like animals.
That was my third one. So nice. I do like that scene a lot. Not just because he slaughters them like animals, but because of the gravity of the situation.
Yes.
So mine is a little bit more mainstream, unfortunately. As you know, I'm a big Mace Windu fan.
Heck yeah.
For some reason, couldn't tell you. He didn't even have a purple lightsaber when he first came around the corner. And it's not like purple's my favorite color, but and I didn't really know who Sam Jackson was yet. To me, that was still Mace Windu, the character, before I knew Sam Jackson. But right. So when he crashes the party, when him and the Jedi crash the party at the Geonosis Coliseum, I don't know. I love it. It's like the first time you get to see that many Jedi in action too. I mean,
In their prime.
in their prime. Well, with a lot of them in their prime.
Right.
The gravity of this party's over. I love that line.
That's great.
And him talking with Dooku, and it's just really action packed. I mean, I think for as many complaints as you can have against the first and second episode of Star Wars, I really do think that George was really good with third act action that propelled the entertainment aspect of it. And I mean, some of the CGI doesn't stand up as well as others do today, but as far as it being 24 years old now, I still think it's really watchable and really good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Love
that's mine.
love the Geonosis Arena battle. I love the whole thing. Starting with Obi-Wan and Anakin and Padme having to escape the animals or whatever they are,
Seems to
the
be
monsters,
on top of things.
all the way to the clones showing up. So
Yeah, and then even when they leave the arena, like just when really I like to more visually than actual depth is just like when the clones are in firing their blue lasers and then
right.
droids red in the dust, and it's just I don't know, it's cool.
It's a great battle scene. I had that at number 2 for the Geonosis Arena. So
I want to tell you my number 2 real quick. And
yeah, go for it.
Purely based off of sound effects, and it's the seismic charges scene with Obi-Wan and
Man,
Jango Fett.
what a masterwork of sound design.
It was so close. That was almost my favorite. That was almost number 1 for me, but I thought I just can't have a scene of just because it's quiet and then I'm not going to replicate it. I can't, but
I think George would respect you for putting that one. But yeah, no,
if
that's.
he ever stumbles upon this podcast, George, I love it. Obi-Wan's my favorite character, so that too. Just the flying is not his forte, and he hates it from that point on.
Yeah, no, that's great too. I also had the scene where Dooku. My number 3 was Dooku tells Obi-Wan about that. Basically, he tells him the entire truth while he's captive.
Oh yeah, that's good.
He's like, just tell him, like he tells him that the Republic's under control of the Dark Lord of the Sith and all this stuff, and of course Obi-Wan doesn't believe him. Who would? But then they get that little line about Qui-Gon too. I wish I could use his help right now, and you know what I mean. So
yeah, no, that's
it's good stuff. But all right, moving on to episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the Godfather of the prequels.
Yes, the one to rewatch. It's probably the Star Wars that I've rewatched the most. Like just like if I'm watching a single episode, this is probably my go-to.
Yeah, I think I concur.
So
go ahead.
My scene is Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Okay, man. Okay, awesome. That's great, man.
He was a tie. It was really close between this and my other one, which I'm sure is probably yours. But I just love the world building in such a small scene. I mean, you get this moment where you get to see Palpatine really start to get the fine tuning done on getting Anakin over.
Got those hooks in there, man.
He's already told him to kill Dooku when he knew he wasn't supposed to, and he's already planting in his ear that he thinks the Jedi are against him, and then on top of all that manipulating, you get this pretty cool story about the mysterious Sith and how is this real? Was this a real person, or was this Sheev throwing another curveball at Anakin? And just,
Right.
One of my favorite parts of Star Wars is just the ability, like you said before we got on here, the world building and the scope of modern day fantasy. I like those little things that make the world more lived in.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. Great scene. At my number 1, I had to do it. You knew I had to do it. Probably my favorite, definitely my favorite duel of all time. Probably my favorite action sequence of all time in movies.
Of any movie.
I think so. I mean, I don't know if there's one I'm gonna throw on, it's this. You want to watch some action? Let's test out this TV.
Yeah.
Put on the finale of Revenge of the Sith, because it's the battle of the heroes.
I had it there first and I changed it because I don't know.
Both great scenes, but this is something else. This finale, this battle, in the depths of hell, basically. You know, I mean, the galaxy is at its lowest point, and these two brothers are just trying to hack each other to pieces, and the choreography is obviously, you know, breathtaking and over the top, and in my opinion, all the best ways. I love the choreography.
Oh yeah,
and
the saber swinging that leads to nothing for 2 seconds. It's great. It's so
I love it.
Yes, but it's awesome.
it's great. I love it so much. But yeah, man, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, the time they're getting their flowers these days, and so that's great, and it's fun to be part of that generation. But they certainly deserved them even back then for what they were able to do in this scene alone. You know what I mean? And in that goes, I mean, you know, this battle. I think it's I would assume it's still the longest. I haven't seen any sword battles longer than this, but the longest duel in the history of movies, like longest sword fight in the history of movies. I'm pretty sure that still stands up. But it's operatic. It's all of my favorite things about Star Wars, kind of.
So do you include
distilled?
Do you include the Yoda and Palpatine in this scene for your mind, or are you strictly with Obi-Wan?
If I have to choose, I would do the Battle of the Heroes, obviously. But if I could intertwine them,
well,
I would,
they
because
happen at the same time.
They do, and it is part of the same big scene, I'd say.
Yes, yeah.
But and also I love my favorite cut in the whole movie probably is when Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting, and then Anakin takes a couple steps and it cuts into Duel of the Fates and Yoda and Palpatine fighting in the Senate room.
Senate room, yeah.
And that's just the coolest cut to me for whatever reason, you know. It's just scary good. I love Battle of the Heroes all the way into, you know, you were the chosen one. I almost, like, every time I almost want to turn the battle off before Anakin makes the jump. Like, every once in a while I'm thinking, like, maybe he won't do it this time.
Maybe not.
Like, maybe he'll decide not to do it, and then every time he gets hacked to bits. But and then also, so my number 2 kind of goes along with that a little bit, but it's the birth of Vader intercut with the birth of the twins. I love that scene. I love seeing inside the mask the fear on Vader's face, Anakin's face, before he puts the mask on. Like, holy crap, I have to be caged in this for the rest of my life. What have I done? And then it's too late. Like, then it's over. Like, you're part of the dark side forever until, you know, for all he knows, forever. So.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good one too. It's by far, I mean, overall my favorite action scene in Star Wars. And, you know, it's 1A, 1B with that Plagueis scene. It's something that I quote all the time too with you, with the other Star Wars fans. So it's up there for me.
Absolutely. Moving on to the Disney era with Solo: A Star Wars Story. Got any overall thoughts on Solo? Did you enjoy it?
I did. We actually went and saw this together. You had seen it before me, which I felt a little betrayed by because we were supposed to see it at the same time. But you know, if it wasn't about Han Solo, I don't think it would have gotten the reputation, or I don't want to say panning because I don't think it was panned, but I think a lot of people would have had a different view of it. It was a fun time. I had low expectations, so I mean,
same.
And when I watched it, I was like, "Yeah, that was fun." I would watch that again.
Yeah, the idea of a Han Solo movie taking place before any of his meaningful character work has been done is interesting.
Yeah, and it's one of those. I mean, even it's mostly, in my opinion, because of Harrison Ford's portrayal. But to me, that's just a hard character to recast.
Right, and I love Alden in the movie.
Yeah,
but
he
I don't.
Great. He is not the problem.
No, but I also don't really like. I'm not thinking about the same Han in Episode 4 when I'm watching that movie, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like I almost look at it as more of a, like, he's like, to make a comparison, kind of like watching Chris Pine as Kirk, I guess. You know what I mean? Not like that as much, but like I don't know. I think Alden. My only complaint with Alden is that in scenes with everyone else, he looks shorter than everyone, and that's literally my only thing. Like Han's not short.
They needed Tom Cruise on the set to help with perspective.
They needed Tom Cruise's shoes at least to put those lifts in a little bit on Alden. But yeah, he's got a lot of charisma. I wish he would be in more stuff. I mean, he's in Oppenheimer for Christ's sake, but he's got a lot of charisma in that movie. I like him a lot, and I love Woody Harrelson in that movie. Well,
Yes, me too.
Anyway, what's your favorite scene from Solo?
So my favorite, or at least that I have written down, like I said, I like this movie a lot. It doesn't have like any iconic scenes to me personally, but one cool thing to see, other than kind of like the world building of like seeing him as an Imperial trooper at first, and him and Chewie meeting, which was actually my second one. So, was the first Sabacc game where you get to see all those aliens in there. You get to meet Lando for the first time, which I know I just kind of said Han's somebody it's hard to recast. I think Billy D. Williams kills it as Lando too, but I think Donald Glover is an amazing Lando. And that's not just because I'm a Childish Gambino fan either. Like I thought he played him really well, so it was just cool to see that. And Han's so cocky that he's about to win this game, like, yes, luck's finally going my way, and then Lando cheats and wins, and he's just sat there with emptiness. And it's just fun, kind of like that's a good aspect of the character building of Han, because he's still new to this world and naive, and like you get to see how he becomes who he is with the scoundrel that's to come.
The origin of the scoundrel persona.
Scruffy looking.
That's a good one, man. That's a good scene. I had the Kessel Run at my number one. I think it's a great action scene. We get to see Han actually fly the Falcon for the first time, which is cool. And Chewie co-pilot with him, and you kind of see their chemistry right off the bat. And I love, this is kind of off the main scene, but there's a lot of scenes with Han and Chewie where it's not like a scene that I could have pulled for this list, because it's just very it's almost like throwaway lines, but they really built the chemistry between Han and Chewie to the point where like I wasn't even like thinking about it, like, oh, like, do they, you know what I mean, like it was just something that was there, like, oh, that's just Han and Chewie, that's just how they act together. And that's something that you would think would be really hard to recreate, but they definitely pulled it off in this movie. But yeah, I had the Kessel Run for number one. It's cool to actually see behind, the myth of what Han talks about in episode 4, right? And starting with the Star Destroyer coming out of the big, I don't know if they called it the Maw or what it was, but kind of sitting in the Kessel airspace. And, that was a cool shot with the Star Destroyer, and then that huge, I don't know, Kraken.
Yeah, whatever that space whale Kraken thing was. See, what's crazy is we would know what the name of that was if that movie came out when we were in like middle school.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it's in one of the books I have on my shelf already. But yeah, I had the Kessel Run. I think it's a fun scene.
Yeah, it's fun.
And that's kind of the if I boiled down this movie, I'd be like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's good. It was good summer popcorn movie.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And also, Maul's cameo. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was fun too. It was cool.
They can jingle the keys all they want. I'll eat it up.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm the cat that plays with a little ball.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool that they were able to interpolate Ray Park's appearance, but with Sam Witwer voicing it, who's the guy who's basically played him all the way from Clone Wars to Rebels to now the new Maul
Shadow
show
Lord
coming out soon.
Yeah, that is really cool. It's very unexpected, really cool. All right, on to Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Am I going first? You go first. I go first.
You go ahead.
I think I went first last one.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, my favorite scene in Rogue One might be basic, but I had a great time in the theaters watching Darth Vader slaughter those rebel scum. It was terrifying and awesome, and
it was
so fun.
Vader, and we didn't really get to see much of that in the 70s and the 80s movies.
Right. To see Darth Vader just do what he does in like video games that we've been playing all our lives, just to see that brought to life on the big screen where he's just in his full might, no Anakin, dark side all the way. And I mean, it's so fun to see Vader hack and slash down some rebels, as morbid as that is. But hey, what you got?
Which is crazy, just because, like, chronologically, 20 minutes later when they finally catch up with the Tantive 4, he seems like he's just annoyed. Not that he just killed like 50 people.
Yeah,
obviously they're filmed decades apart, but it's just like, yeah, that's just a Tuesday for old Vader.
Right.
So that was my number one as well.
Yeah,
because it's such an iconic scene. But I also, like, just in general, love the Battle of Scarif. I mean, it's really cool visually too. I don't know, I think the graphics and the cinematography in it is really cool. Like, especially when that Hammerhead rebel ship just kind of tears through the Star Destroyer. I like that. I like the X-wing fighters up in the space battle more so part is what I really enjoy the most out of that.
Yeah.
And seeing some of the scenes, like unused footage from the original movie with some of the squad fighters in there too. I remember, hitting you in the shoulder, being like, "Hey, that's Porkins right there," and stuff like that. So
yeah, man,
I like Rogue One a lot. I also had Let Them Pass in Peace. That's what I wrote down, just because when they first meet the Guardian of the Wills, I think is what they are. The Chirrut Imwe, the guy, he just
I am one with the Force is with me.
Yeah, he just destroys like 20 stormtroopers as a blind man.
Right, really cool. Yeah, I love
really cool.
Chirrut, and his buddy with the big gun. But I also, let's see, I didn't have a specific number 2 for Rogue One, but I did have any scene with Krennic is great entertainment value. Yeah. That portrayal of Krennic is so good. And I especially I really like the scenes with Tarkin. I know the CGI is quite noticeable. Same with Leia, but I thought
Leia's worse in my opinion.
Yeah, Leia's looks unfinished. Like
yes.
Tarkin's looks like they did their absolute best. Yeah. And Krennic's scene with Tarkin is good too. Mm-hmm.
So
you stand here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Careful not to choke on your aspirations.
The dad joke. The Vader dad jokes. Didn't know I needed that, but that was good stuff. All right. Moving back to the good stuff here. The original trilogy. And you just told me the other day you're coming off an original trilogy rewatch. Is that right?
I just recently built a R2 unit that I got for my birthday as a Lego set, and so I thought, what better time than to be snowed in building Legos and watching my favorite film trilogy of all time. So I just decided to roll through it real quick, and this one's been my favorite scene for a long time. And here's another one too for me that the music plays a huge part of it. And that is Binary Sunset. It's a quick moment. It's not a whole lot going on. I mean, it's just Luke is a yearning farm boy staring off into the sun's setting of Tatooine, kind of just wanting to, it looks like there's something more out there for him, and he's just not made for that world. And we all know who his dad is, so we clearly know that he is right in those feelings. And then just the Force theme scene that plays with it. It's honestly one of my favorite scenes in Revenge of the Sith too, when Obi-Wan hands off Luke to the Lars. But I didn't want to put that because I was going to use it here. It might be my favorite scene in Star Wars. I love it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think I'm with you with it being possibly my favorite scene in Star Wars. Maybe it's definitely top 3, and I have it at number 1 too. Binary Sunset. It's great, man.
It's powerful for his quiet. Powerful. There's no dialogue. That's what's crazy to me.
And that's what. I mean, people give him a hard time for his dialogue, and maybe justly so, but he's always said that he really doesn't care about dialogue.
Yeah.
At least he's up front with it. George is a visual storyteller, and that's what he cares about. And when he's firing on all cylinders, it's pretty magical. And this scene is just that spirit of adventure that Star Wars can incite in you as a young kid, like.
And that's where really we start to go from there, right? Like that's where the movie and the story kind of just
takes off. Absolutely. Yeah. So Binary Sunset, it's iconic. Did you happen to have a number 2 for A New Hope?
I did. It's the trench run. I feel like that's pretty basic, but it's fun, man. I mean, I can only imagine seeing that in theaters.
It's crazy. Yeah, man. Trench Run is iconic. I had it at number 2 as well. We're 2 for 2 right now. We are two for 2. All the way, I mean, building up to Han's return, which is maybe the most like stand up and clap moment in all of Star Wars. I think, like when Han comes back, I'm like, I want to stand up and clap like that. That's the moment, that gets me, like, it gets me super excited. And it almost brings a tear to my eye to, because that's kind of his character arc. And from there, you know what I mean? Like that moment at the end of New Hope when he decides, okay, I'm not going to be a selfish scoundrel. I'm going to go help my friends for a bigger cause. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like he builds on it a little bit, that character arc, throughout the rest of the movies, but that's kind of his whole thing is learning how to be selfless and care more about his friends, and that's a really cool, it's a great moment. So right now we're 2 for 2, man. What do you got for number 3?
I think we'll lose here, but because my favorite character, Obi-Wan, this is mainly his movie in the original trilogy, and I love when he sacrifices himself to help Luke finish his journey. He already knows that this is the best way to help Luke and the galaxy from here on out, is to kind of just be the mentor from afar rather than still be the physical form. It's terrible lightsaber fight. I mean, it's just a bunch of...
It's old men with sticks.
Old men slapping each other with some sticks. But it's more so the...
It's thematic.
Yeah.
Especially when we just saw Vader, a day before, slashing people.
He was too tired. He's Kawhi Leonard playing a back-to-back.
Right. Well, we almost went 3 for 3 because mine's also an Obi-Wan scene, but it's not his sacrifice, although that's great. But I had the scene in Obi-Wan's hut, a.k.a. what I like to call the greatest exposition scene in the history of movies, where, Obi-Wan basically lays down, obviously it starts with, I can't remember the sequence of events, but he explains what a lightsaber is, basically. He explains the Force, and he gives some hints about Anakin and Vader. Obviously nothing's spelled out until The Empire Strikes Back. But it's crazy to think that, from my knowledge anyways, correct me if I'm wrong, but Alec Guinness didn't know that at that moment when they were filming that Vader was Luke's father. And to think that performance was delivered in such a way where it looks like he knows exactly that Vader is Luke's father, and he's trying to hide it from him. You know what I mean? Alec Guinness is, it's maybe top 3 at least, maybe my favorite performance in all of Star Wars as Obi-Wan. He's perfect for the role.
I think I'm with you on that. I mean, it's incredible that they got both actors, prequel and original trilogy, that to play that character, because I think they both knocked out of the park.
Yes.
I think at the time it was still like, hey, he just killed his dad. Like, I don't think George had pinned that down yet.
Yeah, but right before he starts explaining to Luke, he kind of gives like this little like breath, like, do I tell him or do I don't tell him? Like, I'll give him a little bit, but it's
what he told him was true from a certain point of view.
Right. Certain point of view? That's a great scene. I love it. All right, moving into...
Hold on.
Yeah.
My fourth one, real quick, is the Stormtrooper bump. walking in the Death Star. I rewind it about 2 to 3 times every time I watch it, just because he went back and added a sound effect of him clunk on the head, and it's one of those things like when you see somebody get hit in the crotch. For some reason, I just think it's hilarious.
That's a good one. Trash compactor scene's great. I mean, this movie is just iconic after iconic scene. It's crazy, and so is the next one. Empire Strikes Back is up next. At my number one, I debated this. I went back and forth. Like I said, it's iconic scene after iconic scene. But I'm a sucker for a great lightsaber duel. And the duel between Luke and Vader on Bespin is, I mean, first of all, visually, it's maybe the coolest Star Wars has looked. I mean, the blues and the oranges. I mean, when I think about iconic imagery in Star Wars, that scene immediately comes to mind, with Vader standing, igniting the saber, and blues and oranges, and you're the Force is with you, Skywalker, but you're not a Jedi yet. I mean, that line sends chills through me every time. And I mean, the whole duel ending with, of course, the infamous, I am your father. I mean, that scene alone kind of transcends Star Wars and becomes...
It's in the zeitgeist. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, that's, if people don't know Star Wars, I mean, if people have never seen Star Wars, they know that scene, so it's, I mean, it's just iconic in every way. And there's so many other scenes that I'm sure you're about to talk about, but that scene, I just, the way Vader toys with him, and the desperateness of Luke, and the whole time you're also thinking, man, Obi-Wan and Yoda warned you, man, like, this is not going good, and they told you it wasn't going to go good.
Yeah, and the only reason he's alive is because Vader's toying with him, right? Like,
yeah, oh, absolutely.
He could have killed him so easily, and Luke, being the cocky person he is what got him, losing his hand.
I mean, he's testing him. He's seeing what can this guy do? Is this guy going to make a good? I mean, is he
servant?
A good servant. You know what I mean? He's a weapon for me. Let me see what he can do. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think all of Empire is honestly really good. I know that's cliche to say, but it really is such a good movie. I rewatched it, 2 weekends ago, and it still amazes me every time I watch it how good of a sequel it is. I mean, it's a tall task, especially with how good Star Wars did, back in the day. To follow it up with that is incredible to me. So I love all the scenes with Yoda. So that was actually my first one anyway. I didn't have the lightsaber fight as my first one. It's when Luke meets Yoda. I don't know why. I just love the how kind of silly and weird he is at first, and like it's really him just testing Luke, kind of like Vader was later on. Like no, he's too old. Impatience, playing with him, and then he finally kind of breaks character, and we find out that he is this powerful Jedi Master who eventually moves an X-wing. So
I had that at number 2. Yoda lifting the X-wing. And that, oh man, John Williams again.
Yeah, another score. That's fantastic.
That Yoda score is something else, man. But yeah, and then I also had, I'm sure you had this on here somewhere, but at least in your top 10. But Luke lifting the lightsaber out of the snow in the Wampa, meat locker. That was that always.
Thought they smelt bad on the outside.
Yeah, Han with a lightsaber is always cool to see too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the longest time, he was the only non-Jedi to wield the lightsaber.
Yeah, that's right. Who broke his streak? Do you know who broke his streak? I can't remember right now, but
I would, off the top of my head, I would think Finn.
Oh yeah.
But I don't. There might
probably,
be some, like
probably.
as far as
unless it's like,
theatrical. I'm sure there's some cartoon episode that I missed.
Yeah.
So for episode 6, I don't know. Did you have any more you wanted to say?
No.
Episode 6, I put the Vader and Luke duel on that one. Kind of like you were saying with the color clashing of episode 5. I love the green and the black in the dark throne room. Luke's wearing all black, and then fighting basically himself and his father trying to turn him, but also and then fighting the Emperor. And then he finally he channels his anger and beats Vader, only to see the hand he cut off his father is mechanical, and that kind of brings him back to know he's got one of those too, and if I'm not careful, I'll end up like him. Right. And then I think it's on. I don't think it was on purpose, but I think it works really well. The flap of his attire flips open, and it's that white piece, and you still.
I guarantee you it was on purpose. I mean, it's bright white showing
they said
through.
that it wasn't intentional, but who knows?
That's crazy if it wasn't. But.
I know. So and then that the themes behind that of they're still good in Luke and in his dad, and then so we get to see Vader come full circle.
Yeah, man. I had the. I mean, I didn't have the duel specifically, but I had one moment. I was very specific with this one.
Okay.
It was the that point after he sees his dad's hand and he turns around to the Emperor. He says, "You're wrong, Your Highness. I am a Jedi like my father before me." Yeah. Throws the saber away.
Good line.
And that's how you toss a saber. By the way, you just out like that. It's emphatic.
It's like a slice in tennis.
Right. It's not a chunk behind the head. It's not
yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean that line. I mean that moment. Going back to my favorite parts of Star Wars. That moment right there. I think I got to put it number one. Where Luke disarms himself before the most powerful being in the galaxy and says, I'm not gonna kill my dad. You're wrong about me. You're wrong about my dad. And
So be it.
So be it. Yeah, man. I mean, and finally someone acknowledges that Luke is a Jedi. The first person to ever do it, and it's Palpatine.
I've actually never thought about that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. Finally.
It's some of the best Star Wars. I mean, yeah. I think it's really good. Yeah. Love
Return of the Jedi. Ewoks and all.
My second favorite is it's just close to that, is when he actually Viking funeral his father, and then you get to glance over the side while that music's playing. I mean, it's another good score, and then you get to see Anakin and Yoda kind of sitting there, and then you get the picture of all three of them together too. I really like that scene because that's kind of like your core heroes, conquering their goal. It's just a fun ending. Not counting the Coruscant stuff and all the other ones, like that's fine, but like I'm thinking like VHS when I watched it growing up.
Right. You're a Yum Nub guy?
I don't mind it. It's a lot better than the what do you call it from Jabba's Palace?
Jabba's Palace remastered.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. But yeah, at my number 2 I had Anakin's return. So it's just continuation of that same scene. But yeah, Anakin's return, the fulfillment of the prophecy, all that stuff. And then to get out of that scene, I had Luke tells Leia the truth. I always really loved that scene where it's just a quiet moment before, everything goes down, and they, Luke leaves, and Leia, is now she has the weight of the galaxy. Yeah, it's all, I always love those moments. I think they're very well done. I guess George is very well, he can reveal those. It's exposition, but he delivers it in such a way that it does feel like he's just deepening the lore. You know what I mean? And so it's good stuff. Love Return of the Jedi. All right.
So
are you ready?
Begins.
Are you ready to move into the sequel trilogy, baby?
I guess.
Number 1, what you got? The Force Awakens.
Do you want to go first? It's technically your turn.
Yeah, sure. Why not? For all the things. All right, I had
remember books. We've been doing this for about an hour now.
Right. I'll get to it. All right, the duel on Starkiller Base. I love Duel in the Snow. First of all, hadn't been done yet, and it looks fantastic.
I'll always remember watching that trailer, and I think it was chemistry class, and seeing the cross blades coming in, all of the snow was falling. I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
Yes, very very cool looking duel. I do love the way. I mean, I know the choreography is a little clunky, but I think it's fine if it's clunky because who's training. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be clunky, right?
I think it's supposed to be clunky. It's supposed to be.
Hurt.
It's supposed to look like and it's supposed to look like he's swinging a baseball bat, and it does. But there's some really. He's got some good moves. Kylo Ren himself, he's got some good moves. But I really love the moment where Finn picks up the saber, and goes and attacks, for all he knows, the most powerful being in the galaxy. I mean, he's got no force powers.
And I thought that was great foreshadowing at first, really. Like, I thought he was going to be a Jedi.
Yes, same. But I do love the moment where Finn and Kylo Ren have a little lightsaber duel. Mm-hmm. And I think Adam Driver is great in this movie, but especially this scene, and trying to convince Rey already, like, I can show you the ways of the Force, and all that stuff. So I do love that duel. For all the disappointment that I have with it, that duel is cool in The Force Awakens. So
yeah, I think Adam Driver is the best part of the sequels as far as actors and actresses and such. My favorite was the Chewie we're home moment, where you get to see Han and Chewie back on the Falcon for the first time since 1983.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time, unless you saw a re-release beforehand, but like we got to see those legacy characters on the screen for the first time. And I know we weren't around for the originals, but those are the characters I grew up with the most, and it was just really cool. Like, I remember, I still get chills when I see that scene, just because I never thought they would make more Star Wars kind of after Episode 3 kind of wraps the story up, in my opinion, and obviously Luke saving Vader. Like, that just feels like it's completed.
Right.
And George didn't seem to really want to make any more, which is why he sold them. But like that scene to me is really cool. I also had the scene with Kylo and Han when he kills his father. I mean, I know that scene really makes us mad, but we kind of knew going in, just like Harrison Ford's opinion on Star Wars. So I didn't have a lot of hope that he would survive. So I thought that was a really cool character moment too. That like Kylo Ren wants to be bad so much that he thinks killing his dad will help him go on that path.
Right.
I just thought it was really intriguing storytelling for the time.
Yeah, it is. And it is cool that Kylo is almost the I guess inverse of Anakin in a way. You know what I mean? Like he's a good guy that wants. You know what I mean? He's a bad guy that's being pulled to the light.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas Anakin's, he's the good guy being pulled to the darkness, and it's such a weird dynamic. But it's
very intriguing though. The way that they did it in that episode, I was very, even though it was basically a shot-for-shot remake of A New Hope, at least with the thread lines. Right. It was still a very entertaining movie. I mean, I went and saw it in theaters 4 or 5 times.
Same. I mean, I walked out. I mean, I had a great time with Force Awakens. I'll be honest with you. I mean, even when I could see that it was a shot-for-shot remake of A New Hope with a new skin, I mean, I had a great time. It's Star Wars back in the theaters, and it was serviceable enough for me to have a great time in the theater. And so, I have a lot of fond memories of watching Force Awakens in theaters with a lot of different people, and you included, buddy. But yeah, moving on. I also had Ray. So here's one that I probably would. Yeah, exactly. I would have put it first if we would have rewind the clock back to right after I saw this movie. But that Ray's vision when she touches the saber is super cool.
The amount of YouTube videos I watched on breakdowns.
The amount of time I wasted trying to figure out what was in that vision when they didn't even know.
They just said, "Oh, this sounds cool."
Right.
Hey, let's take Obi-Wan from Guinness saying Rey shield and cut the rest of the shield and just put Rey in there. And that'll get them going.
Right, yeah. It's crazy. You got bring back Ewan McGregor to actually record new lines. These are your first steps. I mean, like, it's a great scene. I'll say it. It's
Yeah, it
it's a
really is.
great scene if you don't attach it to anything that happens afterwards. But
Speaking of afterwards,
speaking of afterwards, let's get into it. The Last Jedi.
yeah. So my favorite scene is when I can't remember her character's name, but she goes out and saves Finn, and uses that wonderful line. It's not. You know what? I can't even fake it because it's one of the worst scenes in Star Wars. I don't even know the line anymore. No,
We're not gonna by what was it, by saving.
we don't fight the ones we hate. We do it to save the ones we love.
Right. We're not gonna save the galaxy. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough.
I will
man.
say though, one nice thing about The Last Jedi, I do think it's really visually wonderful. Like the cinematography, the color scaling.
Yeah.
My favorite parts of this movie were the Force. I'm kind of cheating here. The Force dyad scenes, kind of when
Skype, the Force Skype.
Yes. When you have Rey and Kylo kind of trying to by accident get to know each other through the Force. It's just a very interesting concept that I thought that they introduced, and like we said earlier, it's a Kylo, a bad guy trying to be good, and just the character development in those scenes I thought were really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. For my number one, I had the throne room battle scene. And I know people have, since then, I don't know if you've seen them, but people have posted, videos trying to pick apart the lightsaber fight with
I've
all.
never watched them, but I've seen. Post
and
them, yes.
and I'm like, I feel like they're reaching. I had a great time watching that fight in theaters. It was so exciting to see someone from the.
It was shocking.
It was shocking, but it was really crazy to see someone from the light and someone from the dark have to team up just to survive for a second. And that was very thrilling in the theaters to see that. Even if retroactively, should Snoke have died? I don't know. That was kind of a cool Sith move. Doesn't make sense for the whole trilogy. And that's the thing. When you go down these rabbit holes, when I go down these rabbit holes with the sequel movies individually, everything I can pick everything apart and make everything to where it's not enjoyable. Or hey. Visually, that throne room battle scene, I had a great time. The red background, everything kind of going up in flames. Red lightsaber and blue lightsaber never really clashing. They're just fighting all these, Imperial guards or Praetorian guards, whatever they are. But I love that scene. I still do. It's still very cool to watch. And really, when I go back to these movies, every time Rey and Kylo are together every time they're in a scene together, I feel like it makes these movies more interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like I feel kind of like Kylo, like let the past die. I just want to see what these guys do because I feel like I'm not connected to the past anymore with the sequels. Like they've done what they've done. They've made me not really care about Luke Skywalker or Han or Leia really. And I just want to see what these new characters do, and that's kind of my attitude when I watch these movies. And yeah, that battle scene I think is cool in the throne room. So
no, it is up there. It's really good choreographed too, good colors too. Like you said, you get to see, and I really think it's cool the scene where you she turns the lightsaber off and then back on to kill somebody. We haven't seen that before. I like that aspect of it.
That was cool. I also had Luke reuniting with R2 on the Falcon for like 5 seconds. That was
cool. I had Luke Octo scenes too, just because it was good to see him on screen again.
Yeah.
Or actually, sorry, it was honestly another binary sunset. Like I really don't love how they handled that character, but I enjoyed kind of his death in the sense of, his journey started with the binary sunsets of Tatooine and they ended with the binary sunsets of Octo.
Yeah, and I really don't have a problem with his death and the way that he did it. That sacrifice and projecting himself
I just don't think he would have been that character throughout. Like Luke would have never been an old grumpy man.
That's the thing. Like I don't mind Luke going out that way, but the build up to it was, I feel like, just Not great. But that's for another episode. We'll save our sequel gripes for another rant.
Yeah, what's the line from The Force Awakens? That's a story for another time.
Yeah, it's a good story for another time. Yeah.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. I have, and this is a scene that probably my favorite in all of the sequel trilogy. To be honest with you, and
before you say that,
yeah,
I hate The Last Jedi more for what it did, but this is the worst movie out of the sequels.
I think I agree with you. It's held together by duct tape, man.
Yeah,
it's rough. Yeah. Maybe less than duct tape, Scotch tape out there. But the freaking, but yeah, this scene though, for what it's worth, is my favorite in the sequels. I think it's very cool, and if I could just extract that scene and just watch it by itself on YouTube or something, that's probably what I'd do. And it is the scene where Kylo's confronted with Han's ghost.
Yep, I have that as my first one as well.
Yeah, man, it's such a great scene, and it's such a cool parallel to his death in The Force Awakens.
It's very unexpected too. I'll say that. I think that's why I like that scene so much too.
Very unexpected. It almost and honestly, it's one of those moments where I'm willing to forgive any kind of rule breaking, Force ghost, whatever in Star Wars. Like, it works in that moment, and that's what matters the most for the story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And him kind of breaking down for a second and saying, "Dad." And Han just saying, "I know," bringing back that iconic Han Solo line, "I know," and it's the perfect thing that he could have said, and it makes me so mad to watch that scene because I know that JJ is capable of pulling out those moments, but it's just moments of it, but that glimpse into Kylo and Han's relationship is really great, and I love that scene.
Yeah, I have that one as my number one as well. What's your number 2?
I had Rey hearing the voices of the Jedi.
Oh, honestly, I like I told you before we started this, I haven't watched this movie in 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll probably go back and rewatch 7, 8, and 9 here shortly because I just watched 4, 5, and 6, and after talking about them, I kind of want to watch some of these things again, even though some of them are going to make me mad.
Right.
But, yeah, that's a good one, too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mine was a little bit more silly.
Was it Babu Frick?
No.
He was my number 3.
What's crazy is the person that voiced that creature is the moaning Myrtle from Chamber of Secrets.
I heard that. That's crazy.
Okay. Your skills are just as impressive as mine. I had the Ben Solo shrug as my favorite moment.
That was great.
It's cool. In a vacuum, I think it's cool that I liked Adam Driver in those movies, so it's cool to see him as a good guy. But after killing Snoke and killing Han, I think it's crazy to redeem him. But nonetheless, I'm gonna have fun with it while we do it. So when he's coming through to "I Need a Hero" from Shrek 2, and shows up. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it is a shame though that Ben Solo's only line when he turns back to the light is "Ow."
I know.
That's all he gets is "Ow."
He just is standing there with the other Knights of Ren and is just gifted a lightsaber in his backhand. He's like, I don't even know how it happened, but I'm gonna kill you guys now.
It's such a Han thing to do. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my other one. Oh, I also have on here Charlie from Lost yelling out, "Must be some sort of Sith cloning magic."
Cloning.
Talk about some of the best exposition earlier in some of the scenes we talked about to one of the worst.
Oh yeah,
having this main character from the trilogies or the saga return
somehow.
Maybe it was Sith cloning.
Go play Fortnite, you'll find out. That is, it's rough, man. Well, we made it through the sequels, so good for us for trudging through the mud. But yeah, maybe we should rewatch it. Maybe we should give it a second chance. Isn't that what Star Wars is about? Is redemption?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the thought of the prequels now. I mean, they're not. I remember people hating them, and some of the YouTube people I listen to and talk to still aren't like huge fans of them, but even they've acknowledged that like the thoughts on the prequels now have time passes. We grow older and we have fond memories of those, and we're a louder people than we used to be. So
it'll be interesting to see like when the sequels come of age to when what they're gonna think about it. Like, is it gonna be as ingrained into them as the prequels were into us? You know what I mean? So I am interested.
I think there's a lot more. I think that'd be a good case study, just to like, I don't know, the ways we grew up to. Like, I don't know. I feel like you have a lot grabbing at your attentions nowadays with all types of screens and social medias.
Mm-hmm.
Where like we had movies and like action figures and video games, and they all had like movies had action figures, plushes, toys for men, girl and boys, and then you had the video game tie-in or Battlefront. Whereas now, there's so many other things to detract from your attention. Did those people who watched these movies growing up dive deep, kind of like we did?
Right. That would be an interesting case study. A good case study for another time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll save that for some point. Well, man, thanks for going through all these movies with me. I love talking Star Wars, especially with you. Couldn't have had anybody else on the show for this episode. Hopefully we get to talk about it again. Maybe we'll get into some Star Wars debates, because we do agree on a lot of things, but there's some stuff we could debate when it comes to Star Wars a little bit,
For sure. I'm sorry that Ty couldn't make this episode. I know he would have such a knowledge of the dark side.
Oh yeah, plenty of opinions.
I'm very honored that I was your call up in a time of need.
Yeah, man, you're welcome back anytime. Like I said, I'm sure we'll have another Star Wars episode. Maybe sooner rather than later. We'll see how long Ty's out. But
what's the insurance policy for the Yada Yada podcast? How much time off does he get?
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I haven't signed anything yet, so I don't know what he's thinking. But he's also in the middle of basketball season, so with that and a kid, I'm sure he's gonna have his hands tied for a little bit. So who knows? Maybe Star Wars Part 2 next time around. But
hey, we're both well traversed, so we can dive into a different world if need be.
That's true. Well, until then, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for talking Star Wars. Drop your favorite scenes in the comments. Let us know. You don't have to do all the movies, but maybe your top 3 scenes in all of Star Wars. Throw those in the comments. I would love to pick them apart. But yeah, thanks everybody, and have a good one.
So long.